What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Eccentric RockStar'Seed. Welcome to my channel, too. I'm here because the DM want to talk to me in a 5D. So here's something to tell y'all, period. Keep in mind, these are intuitive hits. These are moods and energies and signs and synchronicities and all those great things. Um, I don't call out signs. It could be anybody's sign or what have you. And take it how it resonates. Leave the rest. Like, share, subscribe. So at first, I thought it was only a sexual attraction, but it's so much more than that. I love your mind, body, and soul. It just seemed like okay. Let me start right here. Let's start. Let's take it from the top. It all started with I shuffled one tarot card and two of them came out, and it was the Emperor and the King of Wands in the upright. Okay. Then I took another deck, and what came out was forgiving, and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Then I pulled another card. Well, that was from the top. This is from the bottom. Heart to heart conversations. Honestly, discuss your feelings with each other. Then I took another deck, and it has write a gratitude list, and then sound healing. Then I took another deck, and I got my root chakra, and what's my other card? What do I call that card? My erotic spirituality card. Okay, and then I got I took another deck. Okay, I got like 7 decks out here, needless to say. The ever unfolding rose, cracked open, is happening for you, not to you. Then I got the priestess here twice. How are you being called to step up and lead? Then I got baby steps, action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. Cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. So over here is the Six of Swords, the Judgment, and the High Priestess again. You see how this emperor, if you can see this emperor, he's like staring at this high priestess, this helping hand of God, this all-knowing person. Yes, he is. Why is he staring at her? Because he's kind of salty right now. Okay? And on the bottom of the deck is the Five of Pentacles. That's somebody who's like upset, depressed, despair, going through it, feeling like they lost everything. Something reversed back on this masculine. Whether he meant to do that or not, this is how he's feeling. Sorry. So he's somewhere being stubborn, needing to talk to you, or he should be talking to you, but he's not coming to you in the 3D. Actually, it blows his mind that you were the catalyst to make him want to go heal. Why? Because you're somewhere sound healing, doing Reiki, and writing a gratitude list. Now you're inspiring him to act like that. This is a very practical person. He's not accustomed to acting like that, and he's out of character. But you know what? This was an egomaniac once upon a time. But he's also a shrewd professional person, a shrewd business person. But this person he's only inspired to tap into his spiritual side when he thinks of you, when he feels for you. It's not, he don't think about you, he feels for you. He's very passionate about you. He's crazy about you. Then I got a different energy that's kind of creeping in there. Judgment is called on somebody. Okay? Somebody's justice is for somebody to rest in peace. Or somebody's going to end up resting in peace with the Five of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, the Judgment, and the High Priestess. It's like the duality of it is you're being called to step up and lead, and this other person or energy is going to lay down and rest, and that's going to be it for that person. They're going to be, and it's illness. Illness is going to take them out. With the Five of Pentacles, that's an illness. It could be a mental illness or your organs. I hear the organs are declining for this father figure. and this tyrant or this egomaniac. But this man is in this other energy, he is in love with you. I keep getting a duality of energies lately. I'm in love with it. Because this person is like, he won't admit it to you yet, but that's what he's doing in hermit. He's like secret hermit mode. I mean, he's starting to check himself. He's starting to do his due diligence. He's starting to release what's blocking him from loving, from opening his heart to love. Because he realized who you are and what purpose you are. He's serving in his life, right? And at this point, it's like, he's the ever unfolding rose. He's cracked open now. His nose is wide open. His heart is wide open. His spirit is intact. It's happening for you, not to you. Okay? The challenge for him is to keep his heart open when you want to close it off the most. In other words, it don't pay to be upset no more. Whatever used to make you upset, you know? Even through your hurt and your losses or anything you feel like is a loss for you, the challenge is to learn how to keep your heart open. And who do you think is inspiring him to learn how to do that? He's looking at you. He's following you in this sense. So you can allow what's failing for you to fall away. You know, it's not easy being a human being. It's an act of courage. Right? I can agree. I think we all can agree with that. You know, we live a life full of losses and tragedies, a lot. But it's also a duality of triumphs and adventures. It depends on where you're at this point in life. But you got this Kundalini rising. This man is experiencing this Kundalini rising, right? He's got this spirituality connecting. Is like, he used to curse how good it made him feel when it came to you. Like, he would curse it like it's something that's evil and unholy, to be honest. But now he's starting to combine everything that feels good instead of doing what makes sense. Because he's realizing that his spirituality, his spiritual self, if he merged it with his sexual self, he used to make so many differences between y'all. Like, honestly, he heard stuff about you being like a hoe, a freak, a bitch, an asshole. You know, he's heard so many like negative connotations about you. And it's like, but spiritually, I feel connected to her. And I'm sexually drawn to her. Yes, I am. And the two are intrinsically related, to be blunt with you. And he's learning that, to enjoy all things with sensuality. That includes you. So you're at the top of his bucket list now with the foods that he loves, the conversations he loves to have, his self-care routine. All that feels good. He's being called to do what feels good and not what makes sense when it comes to you. Okay? And he's healing, and by doing that, he's healing his root chakra. His root chakra is being relieved. He's balancing his masculine and feminine energy. I like it. Because he's arrived at a place where he needs to be more grounded, you know. Honestly, it's all because of you, DF. You've arrived to a place where you're very grounded. Your ideal home is in the process of manifestation, and you're setting roots. You're in that commitment mindset. I said that in another video. And this reflects a lot of deep healing work you have done to undo a lot of generational curses and ancestral ties that used to hold you back. So when you as you heal your personal life, you heal the lives of all those that came before you, as well as those who will come after you. Ancestral hardships included slavery, war, abuse of any kind, poverty, or immigration, anything, you name it. You being a priestess is how you're being called to step up and lead. So when y'all finally have this heart-to-heart conversation, you're also doing sound healing. That's yoga. Okay, let me show you the description of this, the illustration of this card. You see the frequencies because she's doing the sounds. You know what I mean? It's like you have opened yourself up to learn so many different things, and you writing this gratitude list. The point, for those who don't understand why am I writing stuff down, the point of writing a gratitude list is to keep the positive energy high, is to keep your manifestations flowing. So everything that you're grounding yourself about, and you have these roots, you're rooting yourself into your new life. You created an abundant life for yourself, and and you have it now. You have it all now. And now he feels that energetic pull because you stop being all about him and start focusing on your inner self. Now he's all about himself and focused on his inner self. So your heart-to-heart conversations is going to allow y'all to be, you're going to see each other in a different light. I feel like you both are going to be newer replicas or better replicas of each other. Surrender to the alchemy of life. Yeah, it's hard. Being a human being has many challenges, trials, and calamities, but you're called to take baby steps to follow your intuition even before it even makes sense. As it said, as it states before, do what feels good, not what makes sense. You're learning, this masculine is learning how to relax and go with the flow. He's balancing his feminine energy with his masculine energy. He's not going to be so controlling. But let me show you something. Because on this side, he has the high priestess. But you also have him looking at the high priestess. Like he's looking back at her. He's like, I don't know how you just did that. It just it makes him feel good. Like he's surrendering to it. The alchemy of life. It's like I wasn't ready for you when you initially came into my life, but I get why you're here. Sound healing is going to be a technique that you're not only going to share with do on yourself, you're going to share with your family, children. You're going to take it, that's like a new profession for the divine feminine. So where is all this going? Give me one on baby steps. Let's take it baby steps at a time. Give me one on baby steps. Two of Cups. Your business partnership, your partnerships, business, friendships, family. You're healing a lot of things at once as a divine feminine, and now this divine masculine is on board. He's doing the same thing. You know, he's healing a lot of partnerships as an act of self-love. Give me one on the ever unfolding rose. Mom. The Six of Cups. Balance, love. That's a lot of love. That's the only time the 6 and the 2 is 8. That's the only time the 8 of Cups is something good. Well, that's not true, because the actual 8 of Cups is walking towards abundance as well, or walking away from something that you have invested a lot of emotion into. And for the 6 of Cups to be on top of the ever unfolding rose, I feel like this is him. He sees you that way. I feel like he sees you blowing up fast with this inner confidence and this new self-care routine, this acts, plural, of self-love. But this is also happening for him. So what about cracked open, rock bottom, surrender? Surrender. What are you being called to surrender? The Ten of Swords. Everything that caused you pain and betrayal is over. And I feel like you reached a point that things have weighed on you. It's like with this Ten of Swords, it's like, yeah, the worst is over. It's a painful ending, but I know that the worst is over now. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm now taking accountability for myself. So what about the Priestess? How are you being called to step up and lead? How are you leading this masculine out of darkness? The Priestess is the helping hand of God. And I usually refer to my aces as God's helping hand. Ace of Pentacles. She's very shrewd in business. She's shrewd in her health, her spirituality, health, and wellness. Okay. So what about sound healing? I feel like this divine feminine is leading this masculine to the Most High. That's why he's realizing, and I think he's realizing that he's going through these changes because that's what God does when he wants you to be a better friend to him, and he's extending his friendship to you. That's a mercy when he puts you through trials because it's showing its love. Sound healing. Five of Swords. Get those jinns and those negative thoughts and that negative self-talk out of here. When he talks to you, it's going to be more relaxing than what he remembers. That's why he's looking at you like that. Like, what have you done with yourself, but in a good way? Move.
Mom.
Hold on a second. Okay. What about the gratitude list? What are you grateful for? Ace of Wands. A new opportunity for creative endeavors. Typically when you write stuff down, especially in ink, that's how it's permanent. That's why I usually write stuff down in black ink. It's more guaranteed or more likely to come into fruition. Especially when you move past it just being a thought. You set the intention. You start writing things down. The Ace of Wands on top of the gratitude list. I'm grateful for everything. I feel like he's going back to church or whatever his place of worship is. Doesn't matter because it all leads to the same thing. When it's a God-based religion. Correction. So what about the root chakra? Okay, so what I like is the Emperor and the Ace of Wands, they're both looking in the same direction. They're looking at this High Priestess. And she has the Judgment and the Six of Swords. She called judgment on this connection, on this experience. I don't want to say connection. I want to say experience. And said, I'm with the helping hand of God. I know my value. I know my worth. And that's the friendship I rather strengthen than worry about someone who will come around in divine timing with God's permission. So that act of arrogance by way of truth, not by foolery, but by truth, and that confidence has him looking at her, has him looking at the divine feminine or this high priestess, this religious person. I think you passed the test, divine feminine. Because you do a lot, you're a prayer warrior. Meditation, when you get the cards of meditation, that can also mean prayer. How you want to put it, how it resonates with you personally. So the root chakra, the King of Pentacles in reverse. So what's being healed is the excessive greed, materialism, surface level, sex-based relationships, surface level relationships, period. Bad business or actions that created a rift in business or in friendship or just in your spirit or your health, period. That's bad health. Anytime a pentacle is in reverse. Because pentacles represents physical health as well. You know. But when your spirit is blocked off, it manifests into bad health, physically or mentally. Anything tangible. Money slipping through your hands. You make a lot of money, but you don't see it as much because it slips through your hands just as fast as you get it. This is somebody who plays with a check, as the term goes. You caked up. But when you heal your root chakra and you heal your past, as I was explaining, your past karmic or generation ancestral burdens or generational curses, everything for you is turning around, and he's thanking God for you. It's like surrendering to what the purpose of this woman is. It took for him to hit rock bottom. Get that 10 of swords, and that King of Pentacles in reverse is never good. Because even though whenever there's a 10, there's an ace, that's what I mean when the helping hand of God comes. He steps in to help you out. He gives you a chance to turn things around. That's unstable. Materialistic. What about erotic spirituality? The cycle is not quite over. He might have thought something was over between you two because of his previous actions or what he was drawn or led to go to in the past. But this is not a sight. This is a chance to turn it around, to change I feel like it's a change of a pace for the outcome of this spiritual journey and this spiritual test from the Most High. It's right next to the Ace of Wands, the world in reverse. The world in the upright is world traveling, a cycle complete, a new beginning. But what it's saying to me is, with it being next to the Ace of Wands and that list of gratitude, is changing the fate. It's altering the destiny of what was about to happen or what could have happened as you learn to forgive. You're learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in the present moments. And I feel like this person has a chance to turn all of that around for himself, for his self-love and his inner self, his inner growth. So that 2 of Cups could be best friends with the Most High. The 6 of Cups could be reconciliation, building your emotional connection with the Most High. King of Wands is spiritual. He's not playing, he's not inviting entities in his life anymore. I feel like he's hurt a lot, but he's healing. So what would be to amplify on forgiving and learning? The 5 of Wands. See, conflict, fighting, grudges, competition. Anybody who ever stole your girl, divine masculine, or came between you and a loved one. It could be your mom, a sister, a friend, or romantic partners. Anybody who came between you and your divine counterpart. You held a grudge. You're very angry about it. You can tell by the energy that you're coming to terms with it, because that's a whole short temper as well, with the 5 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles, feeling like somebody stole what was yours. That's the energy I hear. So you were actually angry with your counterpart, just like you're angry with who you feel is responsible for the influence of y'all being separated or being as distant as you are. So it's a spiral journey. Like you feel like you're spiraling around a lot, but it's spiraling in the upward, is what you'll come to realize. this counterpart comes with a lot of intensity. He's talking about the emperor that acts out of the energy of the King of Wands. So for the heart-to-heart conversations, hermit mode, that is the emperor in reverse, for those who would like to know, for those who didn't know. That's introverted, inner wisdom, seeking inner wisdom. What did you need to learn from all of this? Honestly, discuss your feelings with each other. So by doing that, by even learning what his feelings are, he had to cipher through the drama, the pettiness, the competition, the nasty talk, the negative self-talk, the shadiness, the defeat, feeling defeated. It's like, what probed this divine feminine to go do her own inner work? Clearly, somebody came between the two of them and was successful with this Ten of Swords here. Maybe Ten of Wands may come out too. Like the way this shaped up, he felt like somebody stole the love of his life. And honestly, it looked like, okay, so when I said earlier in the video, there's two high priestess cards here. You know, one has the helping hand of God on top of it, but the other one has judgment and the Six of Swords. He wanted to lay somebody to rest. That's what it's shaping up to mean. Secretively, mysteriously, how people come up missing and you never find them again. He was ready with the Five of Wands to fight a battle. Like he was holding a massive grudge towards a man and a woman. Like he's a person who, you do something to me, I'll make sure I get your ass back. But something called him to it's like, as he was preparing to do all of this stuff, it's like the Most High put his hand on his shoulder and said, wait a minute. Because the King of Pentacles is in reverse, and that's healing the root chakra. And it's like, the way the experience shaped up, it triggered childhood memories or past life issues that went unresolved. So for this masculine, he feels like he always got the shorter end of the stick. Like he could never really come into union with his counterpart because he's always deprived of her by way of jealousy and envy or competition. Like his concern is like, how do I trust that this my counterpart won't slip through my fingers again? He felt very defeated and betrayed and hurt. Excuse me, I apologize. But there's a lot of mercy here on this board. He's being shown a whole self-care plan through this woman. He never got to see this woman in her higher self. Remember when I said he's been told she's a bitch or a whore or a freak, and so everything derogatory in the book, especially with this Five of Swords here. Meanwhile, this divine feminine is over here practicing sound healing. Now, for some, she probably was a little bit promiscuous. She could have been in her masculine energy, practicing promiscuity. But I don't feel like I feel like it was just rumors, envy, competition. Like, it just seemed like this masculine was manipulated and mistreated when it came to his counterpart. So I feel like for him, he has one of those hearts where he's real tough exterior. He's not a punk, but he's very sensitive. So what I feel like is somebody close enough to him that he trusts, like their word was gold to him. Obviously, because what they came and put in his ear pissed him off to no end. It set him on fire. And that's very low vibrational. With the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the Five of Wands here. That's why Judgment's called. Because this divine feminine was being plotted on, even with him. He was made to go against her for whatever reason, for some strange reason. And judgment was called. He was getting ready to lay this woman to rest, along with whoever he was made to believe came between them. Because that's how in love and open his nose, his heart, his spirit, like he's so in love with this girl, with this divine feminine. It could be a guy. You could switch the roles as it resonates. This is why they're being called to have a real heart-to-heart conversation, but this can also mean this masculine is made to sit still so he can cipher through his feelings and his emotions and where all this added anger coming from. And I feel like it's childhood issues that are triggering him, which is why he carries on like that. And I also feel like it's past life unresolved issues. So all of it is coming to a head for this masculine. But he has a mercy. That's why the world is in reverse. Let me see. Clarify the world in reverse. It's not over. It's not over. So what does all that mean? It means the helping hand of God. Look what's on the bottom. The Death card. It put this masculine through a dark. That was the masculine going through a dark night of the soul. In case it didn't already shape up to sound like that, he was. That's like confirmation. That's in the subconscious. And he's called to surrender. Surrender everything that hurt your feelings. You ever felt betrayed. Do not proceed in life with that heaviness in your heart. So I feel like an official, like a leader of a community, is definitely coming to talk to this masculine with the help of God. That's who I feel like, if it's not an actual person, the helping hand of God is coming to him in very mysterious ways, with the high priestess here twice. How are you called to lead the example? Be the leader you wish you had. He could have felt deprived of knowing better, of acting better and doing better in the face of adversity, in the face of conflict, in the face of drama. This is what he know. This could be what he know. This could be what he saw growing up. And I feel like that's a lot of it for this divine masculine. Right? I see him writing scriptures out the holy book. Just writing them down. Remember, look what flipped over. The Ten of Wands is in reverse, but the Lovers is in reverse. So I feel like he could have been, this is short-lived. You know, he's releasing a burden of what he thought was short-lived with this counterpart, or what short-lived with these other partners he's encountered. So what I'm seeing now is he don't like the karma. Karma's a real bitch for how he's been behaving towards this counterpart. Knowing that this counterpart was very innocent, virgin-like, very committed, very devout to him. Remember the scene from The Best Man? How they reenacted the best friend sleeping? She came on to the best friend. Which could be that King of Pentacles in reverse. And the King of Wands is in the upright. And the Emperor is actually looking at the King of Pentacles in reverse. Like, what? You had sex with Mia, and he beat the dog crap out of him. That's the vibe it's giving me. How everybody knew but him. But when he found out, he turned into a wall of fire. But in this case, he was going, and he almost threw that man off the roof. So that kind of clarifies what I said about laying somebody to rest. And he really called the wedding off initially. They had to talk him back into marrying this girl. But the Ten of Wands is in reverse. He's done with the ego trip. The Lovers in reverse is phoniness. Because in the upright is authenticity. So in reverse, it's like, put down the persona. Lose the act. Is bullshit. You this high and mighty person, and you so fucking arrogant and you got this ego, you got this nasty ass attitude. Like, be for real, man. Which is why the Hermit card could be here. Now, really sit down and have heart-to-heart discussions. Whether it be with the Most High, which I feel like is a big part of it, or whether it be with your counterpart. Like, I feel like it's so many miscommunications. You know, a psychological fact with human beings, 99% of people break up due to miscommunications. No. 71% of people, of human beings, break up due to miscommunications. Also, 99% of people become afraid instantly when you say to them, can I ask you a question? It's like instant pressure. You realize your heart starts thumping, you get nervous instantly. But you got the Six of Cups and the ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. So he's not in that victim mentality anymore. He's starting to wise up. He's starting to calm down. He's starting to realize people were playing puppet master with him. But he also realized how people were able to get through to him was that persona. When you put that kind of energy out there, that's what you're going to attract in return. That's what you get back in return. And even though a broken clock is right twice a day, ignorance is not an excuse. Like, this guy was off the wall. Or divine masculine was off the wall. Take it how it resonates, whether it's a man or a woman. So he decided to get real about his feelings. This is what flew out. King of Cups. Like, he's losing the act. He's going to have this heart-to-heart conversation. This King of Cups go with this Hermit. And it's on top of the honestly discuss your feelings with each other. And that's what it is. I told you, he's so in love with this girl, with this Empress. Whether it's a man or a woman, take it how it resonates. But he never said nothing. He was just playing it cool. He was playing it coy, and he was being too macho. And it backfired. And he ended up feeling betrayed because she was being misled. Like, he didn't care or just wasn't interested, or it just wasn't for them to be together. No hard feelings. It's just, I know my value. I'm going to move forward. But if you look at this woman, she's a little depleted herself. Waiting, trying to be patient, trying to be a servant of the Lord. Because she's the Empress and the High Priestess. So she's powerful. Definitely knows her value. Definitely not giving up on this man. Definitely not giving up on his counterpart. She wants to see him through it. So if she can't fundamentally tell him directly because he's not going to listen to her, at the time, he's just going through his own mess. It can make somebody run away from you when you're trying to teach them right and they're not ready to receive it. You may not be in the mood to learn what you think you know at your best by Aaliyah. I like the remix better than I like the original version. Even though the original version is so Rico Suave to me, I just love the remix version of that song. I mean, the beat. Anyway. I feel like this woman this divine feminine has been called to, she has stepped into her power. She has been called to lead the pack because he's obviously in need of some guidance and some redirection and some support from a higher source. And you may pray for him, you may show him love, but honestly, to draw him back in after waiting all that time, all it did was push him away. So to draw him back in, you have to focus on your inner self. You have to, I don't want to say forget about him, but just take the focus off of him. I feel like y'all are in front of an audience, like how celebrities go through it, like their whole life is in front of a camera constantly. And you have the attention of people, his friends, your friends, whether it be professional colleagues, like people are watching how this story is going to unfold. Maybe from the divine masculine standpoint. people are starting to pay attention, and they're starting to recognize who this girl is, because it's out now. Especially when he has that heart-to-heart conversation with her. It's going to be nothing to have that conversation with people he trusts and loves the most. So what about the King of Pentacles in reverse? What happens to this guy? I feel like it was him just in a negative space, and it stems from the roots, the ancestral or generational curses or ancestral burdens. And he's healing it. He's healing that about himself. So it's like once she got into that committal mindset, and it's a repeating message, I don't mind repeating the message, because who knows who this resonates with. It's just meant to be reiterated and amplified on, because it's meant to be taught to somebody or a group of people. So as I was explaining, as I forgot my train of thought. Oh, once she got into that committal mindset, I guess he felt the tug, so he started to really start healing, start the process of healing. He started to get humble. At first, he lost his temperament. Like his energy, he was laying it on thick. He was. But then he really started to calm down. You know, sometimes people give you advice. Some of those people, I'm not going to lie, they meant to give him shitty advice. And he was weak for listening to it. But there's no judgment. You know, it's neither here nor there. You have to learn your lesson. You have to see it for what it is to learn your lesson. He didn't have strong boundaries. That's why it was conflict between him and this woman constantly. It's like he felt like his whole fucking world fell apart. With the Five of Pentacles was on the bottom when I initially laid out all my cards. And just feeling like everything is shitty. I'm fighting with the person, the karmic, meaning the person who's teaching me some of my biggest lessons in life, respectfully. I don't say karmic in a derogatory sense, because we all teach people lessons one way or another. So when the person he may have been with, dating or married or just long-term committed to, we in conflict because there's no spiritual connection. We're night and day. I've never felt more night and day with anybody in my life. And I used to look at my counterpart like that. Like, we couldn't be, like, you feel good to me, but it doesn't make any sense. We couldn't be more different in the public's eye. Like, on a surface level, we couldn't be more different. So this could be somebody who's older, or a different culture, a different religion, a different status in society, anything that's totally different. You're a high priestess and an empress, so you could be a religious person as well as a spiritual person. So you can be a deep-rooted religious woman with supernatural spiritual abilities, and you practice both using discernment. Six of Swords is speaking words of that are tranquil over yourself and over your life, instead of cursing yourself for what didn't go your way, or cursing the masculine for what didn't go your way. Give me one more on the King of Pentacles. Exactly. The Temperance. He's healing. He's healing himself. He would like to, I want to start over. I want to get to know you on that. I want to practice my sexual desires in a more spiritually inclined way. That's his way of saying he want to marry you, because that's really what it is. Like, married people fuck. People who are sexually attracted fuck. The difference is you get blessings for it in one scenario, and you crack up sins of fornication in the other one. He wants to do it right with you. He could believe, if you ever wondered, does he think of this connection as intense enough to call it a twin flame connection, or what the twin flame connection represents? I would say yes, because he's very wise to how he feels about you, and he's very wise as to what he needs to do to propel himself forward, to get to that tranquil space, to be tapped in to his own spirituality, because the priestess is here twice, so that could represent both of you. You both could be light workers. I think you are. I cannot help but feel like both of you are star seeds. Both of you are light workers. One is just was more tapped into his worldly mission and not the spiritual one. And this woman curses you, the person he's with, man or woman, ever since I found those pictures in your phone, ever since you mentioned your clients, ever since, I don't even know how did he mention his clients? He's looking at her weird. Ever since I found out about this person, you just closed yourself off from me. Like, what do I have to do? He never could answer her. Because it made him realize what he knew he had to do. That's why that Lovers is also in reverse. That's an option of love too, and that's a no, because what he thought was ideal in terms of status, what would keep his status higher in society, was a burden, and he's not doing that no more because it doesn't feel good. It doesn't align with his spirit. This is what fell out as I was shuffling the cards. The Knight of Swords is communication, moving forward logically, logistically, using common sense. Well, when you follow your heart, you tend to make better logical decisions. That's a head over heart decision. That's definitely moving forward with discussing your feelings, having that heart-to-heart conversation. It's a matter of when. I don't know. I don't think that the divine feminine is really concerned with the when. She just feels it coming. And he feels it coming. Like that, I'm being called to say, like that itch he used to get when he needed to do his thing. Like sexually, with other partners. Like, you have to be patient with him. He's been through a lot, and he's just now like digging deep or peeling back those layers as to why he was driven to move and operate and feel the way that he was feeling. Because he was like, fuck love, fuck Cupid's arrow for a while. For much of his life, adult life. He could have saw his parents go through it. Maybe he had a father figure that was materialistic, or a mother figure who was materialistic and sex crazed. Maybe he thought that was it, but he knew it didn't align with his soul. So now he's being called to step up and lead as a mercy. Well, that was very therapeutic for the DM to vent and get all this out, to come to that realization. So now you know that's confirmation for somebody. Keep, as you continue focusing on yourself, he got the message to start catching up with you if he wants to be with you. And he's making that conscious decision to want to be with you. I mean, all you really can do when you're an empress and a high priestess who use discernment, you have a lot of discernment. And the Temperance is here, and the Lovers is here. He's healing that imbalance. He's healing himself, which caused the imbalance. Correct, let me say it right. I seen Versace perfume. Could be a cultural thing. It could just be an act of generosity. Maybe he bought a gift for you. Maybe he will start to give you gifts as his heart warms up. Wow. This is like a really good vibe, a really good feeling, knowing that the evolution is in full effect, is in full throttle for both of you, for the group of people I'm speaking to. So like, share, subscribe. I want to stop it there so I don't start pulling on other energy, which I'm being called to say this energy, y'all are being protected because you're obviously chosen. So you don't have to worry about negative energy, but you can stop there because I think they get the point. Oh, that's what the Most High said. They get the point. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time.